How did you get started?
Well, I didn't want to be a photographer. I want to be a carpenter.
Did you?
I want to be a carpenter. I very love woodwork. I always enjoyed it at school. For my project, I built a beehive because also I enjoyed beekeeping. Bizarre for
Do you
16-year-old,
do you still do
but
beekeeping now?
I don't, I really want to. But uh, my wife, she says she's allergic to bee stings.
Right.
I think she's just doing that just so she can say, if you
Mm.
get a beehive, I might die. So you kind of, yeah. I said, look, you can get tests just to see if you're, because it was a long time ago she had an allergic reaction to. So no, now I'm not beekeeping anymore, which
Are,
is a shame because I
are
do
you
enjoy it.
are you aware of a guy called Alex Smith on YouTube?
Is he American?
No, he's a young English lad,
Right. Yeah.
but he did a load of videos last year and this year. He's done this year as well on beekeeping,
Okay.
and I had no interest in beekeeping. Like for me, it's just like whatever. And me and my wife sat and watched. He had all these like series. I was telling another guest this about this as well. He had this series where he'd like week 1, week 2, week 3, and then he had a big YouTube video where he'd sewn them all together. It was like an epic. It's like an hour and 45 minutes or something. And me and my wife just sat there one evening after the kids gone to bed and watched the whole lot. And then once it had finished, we were like, "What have we just watched?" I'll share the link in the show notes and I'll send it to you as well,
Right.
Steve. It's But if you're into beekeeping, like I thought it was really
Yeah.
good. I thought it was very creative, and I'd love to get him on the podcast. But I will share it with you because it was very cool. But anyway, I digress. You're into beekeeping and you built a beehive when you were 16.
Yeah. So then I went to this is in Norwich. I went to the City College to actually sit their entrance exam because obviously at that time in '86, I think a lot of people would be carpenters. It was a big thing in '86 apparently, and because of that, I didn't make the cut. Sorry for the pun. No, my dovetails didn't fly away. No, they were just and I didn't get in. So I thought, oh god, I don't know what again. So I'd always liked photography. I was interested in photography. So I thought, oh yeah. I thought I'd be, I'd be a photographer. So that didn't happen straight away. So I had to go and sign on. And then when you sign on, you have to write there, will you accept any job that comes along? So I said, no, I want to be a photographer. So I'll only accept photography jobs. So the woman said, look, it's
It's
very
not quite
nice,
how
but
it works, Steve.
it doesn't quite work like that. Uh, but then she said, but actually, one of my colleagues is trying to place an assistant with a photographer. He's had two, and they've both bailed out. They haven't been, didn't work. So,
Right.
would you be up to being an assistant on a YTS scheme, £25 a week? Back in 1986, I said yeah. So I was an assistant to him for like 2 years, and it was really good. It was really good. I mean, I didn't go to college, didn't go to uni to learn to do photography. Did it on the job, and yes, he was very technically good. His people skills probably weren't the best. Okay,
Hence his
I,
two previous failing assistants, right?
yeah. Obviously, something to do with shutting a dark room with no windows for 8 hours a day, probably. But no, it was very good. It was good grounding, knowing all the technical sides of it.
Yeah.
And then from there, after about 2 years there, because I didn't take a year out like most people do, I thought, okay, I need to go and travel the world a bit now, see a bit of the world.